And returning now to our journalist roundtable, let's begin with how voters decided on some closely watched propositions. Did anyone expect to see the voucher expansion crash the way that it did?
I did expect it to go down, but not quite like this. And I think what people were saying is, you do have vouchers already. Do we really need to expand them? I think a lot of people looked at perhaps the realistic effect on public schools that vouchers could have and said, yeah, I think we just don't want to do that. You have enough already.
But I'd heard the polling was not very good for this particular proposition. That oddly enough, a lot of Republican voters did not like it, but Hispanic voters, Hispanic Democrats kind of did like it, but in this case it was something that I think clearly from the results was not popular on the right or the left.
Voters also approved Prop 126, banning new or increased taxes on services. And in Pima County, they rejected Prop 463, a bond measure that would have gone to road repairs.
On the roads, I'm always fascinated that the people who bellyache the most about potholes seem to have no interest in actually paying to fix them. I mean, we're not going to magically fill potholes with no money. If you don't have money, you don't get asphalt.
I didn't see a tremendous pushback campaign on 463, the county bonds. You'd see signs here and there, and certainly people were talking about it, but I was surprised at how lopsided that turned out to be with the no vote.
This is the same thing 3 years ago when we had that $815 million bond request from Pima County. The last few weeks, I had this sense that, wait a minute, I don't think people are real excited about this. We held a forum in Green Valley, and that came out, and I thought this thing could go down, and it did. Same thing happened this time. I was starting to get this vibe over the last couple of weeks of people saying, you know what, this is not the best way to fund road maintenance.
Voters also overwhelmingly rejected Prop 127, which would have forced energy companies to get half of their power from renewable sources by 2030.
Too much of a California influence, because we heard some of that in the messaging on this one.
Oh, for sure. And I think it was, again, the campaign saying your utility bills are going to go up. That was the thing there. It's just like another tax, essentially. And so it just wasn't sold in a way that folks were willing to say, hey, yeah, I think it's a great idea to reduce greenhouse gases and increase the use of solar and renewable energy.
Prop 127, part of the issue, I think, for some voters was they agree with the goal, they agree with the aim of it, but putting it in the state constitution was just perhaps a bridge too far. I think that was something that made people go, there has to be a better way.
Are Arizona Democrats still as hopeful as they were a week ago, given what's just taken place in Arizona?
I think the Democrats down in our area, and they're very strong, very active in Green Valley and Sahuarita, are hopeful, but they don't pin that hope on necessarily winning elections. They pin it on getting active, writing letters to the editor, becoming involved in groups that actually set goals and get things done, again, on a very local level. And so I think a lot of them have figured out that maybe the national level is maybe a lost cause at this point, particularly because of President Trump. And so they're trying to change their corner of the world rather than the entire world. And I think that's not a bad strategy.
We'll see what Donald Trump does over the next 2 years, but he has clearly galvanized Democrats in a way that nobody else has. So if he continues down the road he's been on, I suspect you'll see Democrat energy continuing despite what may have been frustrations in this week's election.
But Sarah, we heard that in the days following the presidential election, and we thought that was what would happen with this midterm.
Right.
Going to take a little bit more time, perhaps?
I think so. I think part of the issue is the high hopes. I think Democrats, maybe they're just naturally optimistic. I don't know. And I think that if people take this as, well, I didn't get everything we wanted, so it's a loss and a defeat, and now I'm going to just go home and sit on my couch and complain on Facebook, then we won't have any energy. I think that they need to galvanize the younger members, the people who ran and lost, but are new, exciting candidates. I think that needs to be the energy, and they really have to work at it and not take it for granted like Democrats so often do.
Okay. All right. My thanks to all three of you.
Thank you.